want to know more about what we can do. So now they're gathering up that list of people, and then we're going to try to get with that group of people, first by email. We'll take that list, then have Wayne to identify their legislature, and get it by district, and then give them back the numbers to their own legislators and give them a spiel about what to ask for. What's your position on mass incarceration? What's your position on the over-incarceration of African Americans? What's your position? And the idea when you have a legislator's office, they believe every one phone call you get reflect the attitude of 1,000.
Wow.
So if you get 10, if a legislator gets 10 or 12 calls on the same issue, he or she recognizes something smoking out there.
Right.
And I need to get in front of it or some kind of way so I'm not ended up. Yeah. So that is a part of the political strategy. And then also, whoever ends up being the county attorney, Mike Freeman, who's the county attorney now, I personally like Mike Freeman as a person because I know him. But his leadership style has passed by now. And the gentleman who's running against him, Mark Haas, is going to be a more effective leader and more approachable about these kinds of things. Mike Freeman was unable to merit justice for everybody evenly. And if your county attorney doesn't met out justice evenly, then you know he doesn't represent all the people, only just some. And so that's why Mike Freeman, for me, I still like him, but I can't vote for him.
Right, that's right.
Yeah. And so, so anyway, good to see everybody. There's some candies and some really nice candy. Look at the box. Look at here, the box costs $20. Right? And then you got, look, Red, look, then they got a, you pull out the thing out the bag. Oh, look, it's all taped up and everything. And then you get some, then you pull that up. And then, look at that. Y'all don't know about that. Look what you get. Huh? I'm gonna keep one of them. Yeah, look at that. Get you, let me get Will. Will was a panelist. Get you a little.
Give me a little candy.
Yeah, a little candy.
A little treaty treat.
Get a treaty treat.
Tree, I'm gonna grab that.
All right, go ahead. Go ahead, you want one? Get you one. Dougie Fresh, give Dougie Fresh one. Here, son, get you a candy. Take one and pass it. And you, hey, go ahead, Daniel. You're welcome to that.
I'm okay.
Oh, you're on diet? You want some weight?
Yeah, one of them seafood diets.
I'm watching. Hey, son, what's going on? You all right?
Yeah, I'm all right.
Yeah, so, Will, I finally found it.
No, I've been caught that knife.
I know I'm alive, I'm
Oh,
well.
no, that's good.
I made it all the way down there
Made it down well.
and to the game, but I didn't have my tickets.
No, we don't square that away tonight. So let me just say one thing about that, by the way. You know, Isaac wanted to go bad, really bad. He loved LeBron. And you know what? I'll tell you what. I elected not to fight that fight like that. And what I'm looking at is the schedule. If the Lakers come again, then we'll get Isaac.
I know that showed out.
But we did get Donald last night. Donald Amos and his wife went, and they had a good old time.
Yeah. Looking for each other. We see each other.
Yeah. Wayne, look here. Well, that's something in front of the group. Now, so there was a problem. Ananias had a problem with his flash seats and this and that. So, can you explain how the thing goes and all that?
So we had talked about 5 o'clock just before the game, and I sent him the tickets, but I don't know how you did get it. Your flash seats, whatever email you sign up for, you have to register after you download the app. You have to register that app to your phone. And then you log into the Flash Seats app. It'll give you a blank saying like no events or something like that.
Yeah.
So as soon as I hit the send button, and those tickets should pop up on my screen.
Is that how you do it?
Right, and I was checking with people to make sure everybody was there, I knew how excited Calvin was about coming. Man, I called you, man. I texted you, asked you, were you there? You didn't text, respond, nothing.
I never have my phone on ring. I always have it on vibrate, right? So a lot of times when I get called, if my phone, even if it's in my pocket, I don't even feel it. So I have to start putting it on ring. But
I've been calling you for 2 days.
but I was at work this morning, so I couldn't get it.
And speaking of that, Ananias was hired on officially on his job yesterday.
Yes.
Give him a big round of applause. Just explain to us what that means, Ananias. You give me them blank sheets that we need, for the
What that
job
means is,
information.
what that means
We
is,
just got to turn it up. Okay.
Full benefits.
I get full benefits. I mean, and if we want to just talk about the healthcare aspect of it, right? I pay absolutely zero for healthcare.
No copay.
You don't pay
No
nothing.
I pay
copay.
nothing. What happens is, I pay.
That's good.
They take out of my check a certain percentage for it, right? Let's say if I have a doctor's visit or something like that, any copays that I have, something like that, the company pays for
But
it.
what about a deductible? You don't pay that?
If they pay 100% everything. What I don't cover, they cover it all.
What you don't cover.
Yeah.
What he done
So
for it.
you got a
So
deductible,
So I think I got a little deductible.
like an 80-20 type deal. That's good.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to look
Yeah.
further into it. It doesn't kick in until January because I have to get on that
He's got all this
road.
health, dental,
Yeah, see, mine ain't, man, that's good. Man.
Dental, eye.
dental.
Yeah.
Okay, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
Another thing is they have a program for first-time home buyers.
Hey, Wayne, you got some coffee?
For first-time home buyers, they have a program for first-time home buyers.
Who got it?
The place where I work.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So and how that works is
Took one of those.
they help. They match your down payment.
No,
So
right.
let's say if I get a $200,000 house with a 10% down payment, right? I come up, I can't do it. Let's say if I put 10 grand down on it, they'll match it.
They'll match you.
Yeah.
And then they'll put 10.
And then they'll put 10.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Or 5 or whatever.
Five, yeah.
beautiful,
Ours
man.
is
We
5.
get paid holidays.
That's beautiful.
They give us bonuses.
Where's all this goodness happening now?
At this place I work, Diamond Metal. Yeah.
What's the name of it?
Diamond Metal products.
And did you fill this out already?
All this goodness happening.
Yes, you do. You have one of these.
Okay, all right. And you put down your new job. Your job is there.
Yes, my job.
Let me, so just what he was saying, man, that's amazing.
And they know everything about me.
Everything.
Everything.
So you can be right.
I can be myself.
Yeah, you can be at ease.
I can be at ease and be
Yeah.
myself.
That's a big deal.
Yeah, that's good, man.
Get the voice into
They fairly friendly too.
I'm gonna tell you something, I'm real proud of you.
Better put that back.
Yeah, that's a job
That's
plus.
a big thanks, son.
Job.
Congratulations.
Those jobs going to hire you. Yeah.
Speaking of jobs,
Oh, wait
That's
a
right.
minute.
Speak on it.
Right.
I got a job. And
Congratulations.
Go ahead, go ahead, tell them something.
well, it's hard work because I have to pick up stuff and carry stuff, but it's full time and I caught the bus today to the meeting.
All right.
And I ain't having Shane drive me all around no more like a little princess. And
Wow.
the brother, no,
Duval,
in the young.
Will,
Will.
Well,
The brother Will wanted me to talk to you about me being 60 years old and never having a job, and if I can do it, there's no excuse for y'all not to be able to do
Thank you. Thank you.
well, that's right.
Because we need to hear that. Because sometimes we make excuses
Well, that's amazing. And to that
And
point,
that's physical work she's doing, right? And she's never had a
I
job.
never had a job.
You know, she's never had a job. So now at her age, she's doing physical labor and while at the same time working on cultivating a positive habit because she's never had a job. So she has to develop a work ethic. And, you know, and here we are. You know what I'm saying? So if we ain't inspired and encouraged by that, then, you know, I don't know, man. I don't know.
That's right.
But it inspires me. You know, I mean, you know, hey, man.
Yeah.
Thank
Work
you.
with me, so we all good.
Good on that. And, somebody else now, Dan, how's your job going?
It's going well. I'm working 10-hour days on Wednesday, Saturday, Sunday, serving tables at Baker Square, and then I do my satellite consulting job Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, 40 hours a week.
Wow.
That's a lot of hours. Give us some that, Joe.
I mean, there a lot.
You're gonna be ready for your contract. You got your driver's license?
I have to do the limited license for 3 years, so right
You
now,
get your work permit to go.
yeah.
Has anybody in here got their work permit for, you know, to drive? What's the process?
Well, I know all the I've done it
Want some to
before.
drink?
I mean, it's hectic, but it should be done.
Yes.
Okay, we don't wanna, okay, so, but man, that's hard work what you're doing. That sounds great. What's the status with you over at that house? How's that house that you're in?
I only got like a month and a half left, a month and a week left.
Okay.
Good.
All right, that's good. We'll figure something out, don't worry. I love that. Hey, brother, what's happening, man? How you doing, son? Elijah Derry just walked in. Miss Anika just walked in. Give him a little hand. Give him a little hand. They've been out here trying to get people into the polls.
Right.
We just got through talking about the county attorney's office and the church the other night. You guys attended the church the other night, and they sent us a tin of cookies, and I was like, who sends cookies? You know, but you know, it's beautiful. I love it. And then they also sent us some chocolate, so I don't want to mess up your diet, but you know,
But he got him.
you gonna pan?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, what about that chicken? There's some chicken over there.
No, we can turn down no chicken.
So speaking of jobs, we also have we also really need somebody to step up for our pop delivery route. We really need that. We've got Doug going by himself, and he's got the van, he's got transportation, but he needs a route partner.
Yeah.
And you know, we need somebody to step up and be serious about it. But you know, it's some money.
Oh,
And you know,
and we need
go ahead.
a backup guy. So now, most weeks we won't need that person, but on occasion, let's say at a night you have to go out of town, or I have to go out of town. We need someone who is willing at that point to step in and, you know, and help us to sustain what we got going on as an organization as far as bringing, you know, income into the group. It's important, you know what I'm saying? Because when one come up, we all do. And since we are the help that we've been waiting for, we know by now ain't nobody coming. That's right. But it doesn't work if we ain't all, you know, bought, you know, and sold into it. You know what I'm saying? That's right. So if we could get 2 people, because we're making good money, somebody to help us out and make that money, and someone who is just willing not to do it full time, but just willing to step in a crunch. You know what I'm saying? That might be once a month, it may be once every 2 months, I don't know.
Well, no, I mean, you know, we keep on passing out money in front of people's faces, but then, you know, I don't know, when you pass out money in front of my face, that makes me want to get some of it some kind of way.
Say that again, preach.
Well, anyway, speaking of that, though, we're gonna,
Can I say something, Pop?
yeah, please go ahead.
Look, you know, the Pops
delivery is that, you know, the first couple of times I went in there, I had no idea what I'm doing. And the Pops guys, it's like we're a big family. You know, I mean, somebody's down, you pick it up, you know, whatever you need. Just talk to the Pop guy and they're open arms, they'll stop what they're doing, they come over, explain something. I mean, it's you know, you're nervous at first, but these guys put you at ease and get you going, and they don't overwhelm you, they just, you know, get you going, they help you out, and I'm glad to be a part of it.
Man, Doug, give Doug some dap, right?
Also, too, I want to say something about Adonai.
Go ahead.
Because, so, you know, you got several veterans in there, you know, myself, Baba, you know what I'm saying? And, you know, really now Calvin is a veteran now.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? But Adonai, I'm going to tell you something, Pop, because you're not there anymore. Adonai has taken such a leadership role in that thing.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? By the time we get there, you know, everything for everybody is where it's supposed to be. When someone new comes, you know, he's always over there, you know, explaining to him how things go. Even when we're doing it, he still does it.
Yeah.
See what I'm saying? He's and when I go to him and say, listen, you know, Adonai, man, we gotta help out. You know, I don't even have to say more than 3 words. He already knows it. You know what I mean? And the attitude he has, you know, it's beautiful about it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And we just get it done. We don't talk about this or that. We don't complain about this or that. What has to be done, we get it done. You know, the papers has to get out. That's the bottom line. So you don't even, you know what I'm saying? And I just want to, man, hey brother, I just want to tell you, man, because you know, he's taking that whole thing, you know, he is, you know.
Yeah. And and it's beautiful, man. If y'all could understand, I mean, it's us like how we're sitting here right now. We got a spot in the depot where all these papers are. I mean, newspaper delivery is not for kids anymore. This is a grown person's game.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, man, I got so good with the Sunday paper. I could take the Sunday paper prime right here, you standing right there. I could take the Sunday paper and sling it just like this, and it'll fall right in front of your face, and it make this sound like this.
Yeah.
Then I know it's time for me to move on. I can hit that lick. Yeah. I mean, it was getting good, man. I mean, just, you know, you develop a style. Here come a little lady waiting in the morning.
Yep.
Just wait for a paper.
Thank you very much.
Thank
Good
you.
to see ya.
Yeah. So look, I was in the prison last night. I'm gonna be in the prison tomorrow. I go for yard, but I don't miss it. I've had multiple other jobs over my life, and I got my hands in a lot of things right now. But the one thing I miss is delivering the papers with the Pop guys, because it's so much fun.
It is.
Right? And I miss it. All right? I miss the camaraderie and stacking up all them papers, you know, making it happen. I miss it because it's a lot of fun. And but at the same time, you know, I wanted to get it started, and we started. We're really making almost $4 grand a month.
Yeah.
Now, if you up here sitting right now, don't be mad at me, but if you sitting right now and you ain't got no money, you ought to be thinking about what we're talking about. We're talking about you. Anyway, I want you to give a big hand to Dougie Fresh, because Dougie get paid today. It's payday today. Give him a hand. You can't clap for him, he getting paid? Ain't nobody gonna clap for you. Hey, Doug.
Sir.
Don't that feel good? I don't know how much you came in here with. I know what you're leaving with.
Thank you, Bob.
Yeah. And Ananiah, your payroll and your son.
That's right.
Will, that's you. Marlo got something coming.
I might get
I know that's right. Keith got something coming. And Baba and his brother got something coming. Come on in. Come on in. Hey, come on, just come on in like you belong here. Come on in. Yeah.
You want to sit down?
Curtis,
I can move.
son. There's plenty of seats over there.
Okay.
Yeah. Come on in, come on, come on. Watch this, and then Baba and his brother got a little something. Now, I just want everybody in here to know, you didn't earn less this week, hey Mike, but you're gonna earn a little less because Doug and another crew member are taking my place, and I didn't pay myself anything. I gave my money to you. So, you know, you may see your check, it didn't decrease, and it might be only 30 or 20 or something like that. It didn't decrease this week, but it might next week or the week after, as we continue to move forward. Ananias, I love what Will said, and I knew that was gonna happen anyway, but I just love hearing it. And I appreciate it. Let's go to the acts of faith right here. You got it in front of you?
October 30th.
Go ahead, son.
If you do not reverse your ways of thinking, speaking, and doing, you will remain on the wheel of no motion. Ralph. There are universal laws that govern our ability to multiply and have supply.
That's good.
The laws of forgiveness, when put into action, infuses the mind with natural, healthy ideas that take away the darkness and bring in the light. The law of obedience governs our movements, requiring that we act in order and harmony. The law of sacrifice says we must give in order to receive.
That's powerful.
For everything we give must be returned as a sacrifice. It never goes unnoticed. The law of increase requires that we give praise and thanks for all that we have. The law of receiving gives us exactly what we expect. The law of attraction brings to us without delay the desires and thoughts we hold in our minds. The law of supply provides all of our needs and desires based on our belief of its existence. When our efforts do not multiply, when our supply is not sufficient, it is quite possible that we are breaking the law.
Wow, that's good. Good.
I live within the boundaries of the law.
Wow.
Acts of faith.
Hey, son. Hey, do you know what, man? She put so much wisdom in this right here that it would take us a year or better to unpack it. But anybody who has a reflection, you just go ahead on and let it be known. Don't all speak at once. Nobody has anything.
I think that, you know, without delay in desires and thoughts we hold in our minds, you know, there's a lot of times that we can,
That just talk for you.
that I have done when I knew it wasn't right, and I tried to give back to make that as a justification. And so, for everything we must give to be returned as a sacrifice that never goes unnoticed. You know, what we were talking about earlier, Pops, is that, you know, it feels good to do the right thing.
That's right.
And so that's what I got.
That's right.
That's good. That's good, bro. Somebody else. Go ahead, son.
They say the law of attraction. I read the book. I don't know if any of you guys read the book, The Secret, but it's a real good book, you know. And the universe, it most definitely gives back to you what you throw out at it. You know, the law of karma, and that's what I got out of it. Man. So be careful what you do.
Are you being careful?
Yes.
Good. How does that feel?
It's a getting used to, but it feels great.
Yeah. Give him a hand for that.
That's right.
That's good, Brian. I'm happy for you, man. You got your driver's license?
You know what? That's what I wanted to. That's why I raised my hand earlier. Now my driver's license. I was going through the rigmarole. I owe St. Louis County, Ramsey County, and Anoka County from like 10 years ago.
Wow.
And like they was just sending me through a bunch of rigmarole, like, well, you gotta go into the counties and do this and this and that in order to pay these tickets. And I'm like, go into the counties, well, I'm walking, you know, on the bus. I can't go all the way up to Duluth or up to anywhere, what have you. So then I finally just went out on Shingle Creek, and they said when I get the funds, which I have Thursday, I could just pay online and email myself the receipt so that I could have, you know, a receipt of the transaction or whatever. So yes, I will be giving my license this Thursday.
Give him some depth. Yeah, I'm happy for you, man. That's important. The transportation is an important thing. Somebody else get in. Here and then Elijah.
I was gonna say that.
Willie, come on in. You guys want to have to slide way down to the board, way back. Wayne, get some more chairs, would you please? Somebody slide down. Hey, how you doing, man? Thank you, man, for coming on, man. It's my pleasure. Something? Oh, man. Wow. Powerful. Yes, sir. Powerful. Yes, sir. Get some more chairs. Keep on going.
What stuck out to me was that law of sacrifice. I thought about the law of sacrifice. It made me think about how difficult it was to change. And when I thought about it, what made it so hard to change was all the stuff I had to sacrifice. I didn't want to sacrifice who I was used to. How can I put that? I didn't want to sacrifice how I was used to being perceived to everybody. I didn't want to sacrifice, like even with the drug use. Like I'm like, if I'm not drinking or if I'm not this, well, I still get received the same way. I can be a square, you know, if I, you know. But even sacrificing my old circle, even sacrificing some family members who, you know, I made a lot of sacrifices.
Yeah.
Even with relationships.
Mm-hmm.
I sacrificed different areas and environments that I used to hang in.
Yeah.
And as far as people, and I think, but the law of sacrifice is the key to change, though. For me, it has been.
Right.
So the law of sacrifice really stuck out to me.
Which means that you have to let something go in order to pick something else up. And that was good. Hey, but Willie, this is the picture of me and you. You see this right here? Look at this is me and Willie. Look. Well, you know what? I always felt this way, but I know I'm just going to tell you this. I never told you to before, though. But this is me and Will. Well, see, I think we're cousins. And so my father is Lewis Robinson, and my clan, this is my sister Rhea Robinson, and my clan is from down there where you came from. You from, you right in that area. My group came up. Now, I don't know if you've done your genealogy at all, but we also have a strong Native American line.
Yeah, my grandmother was Native American, part Native American, and black.
Yeah. But it's very possible that your grandmother, my grandmother, or great grandmother, then was the same person. So we came out of that same area. All my crew, because of our Native American line. I don't care if the mama is African or the mama is a white girl. All the kids look just like me, all of them. With brown eyes, real long hair. You know, the Native American trait comes out every time. You know, so I've known that for a long time, but I always say that. But you know how we just always been like this.
Yes.
We have to have no words.
No words.
And you know, but I just really believe that it's in the blood too, though. Yeah. So that's my little family tree thing stuff. Sorry. Huh?
Kevin McGinn-Rush.
Okay.
You call him so.
All right, hold it. Hey, Kev, what's going on?
Hey, what's going on, Pop?
Yeah, good. Give Kevin a shout. Pop down 3. 1, 2, 3. Bye. Yeah, what's happening? Give us the latest, man.
Just taking care of my age, ready to come home. They told me I need to have surgery, but they said I should do it when I come home.
Right. Okay. So you're still waiting on 180 as of now.
Yes, sir.
Right. Well, just hang in there. But I just want to mention to you, man, you have to be careful of what you say on the telephone.
Yes, sir.
Because you can't act like people are not listening. People are listening, and it's all right if they listen, but you need to be mindful of what you're saying.
Okay.
Okay. Anyway, do what?
Did I say something bad?
Please go say something back.
I said, did I say something bad?
No, go.
Okay.
Go ahead. I can't hear you. No. Oh, I said, did you say something bad?
No.
Right. Well, all I want you to do is just listen to what I'm telling you, right?
Okay.
Just be mindful of what you're saying on the phone because you're in kind of a tug of war with these people, and don't act like they're not paying attention. So if you're saying some things about your feelings or about this or that, I mean, these things are discoverable, man. And that's what I want you to realize. Don't act like this is not the real deal. This is the real deal. That's all. That's all love. But we still, we haven't given up hope on something else either. And so just hang in there and keep fighting.
All right, I'll see you tomorrow night.
And I'll see you tomorrow night. Give us some love on 3, 1, 2, 3. Yeah. So this is Donald calling in. Something must be up with him. Donald, what's going on?
No, just call let you know I wasn't coming this week, man. I'm just tired from work today.
They made you tired?
Yeah, they work with you.
Donald tired, y'all. Pop down 3, 1, 2, 3. Everybody get a little tired sometime. But Don, this is what we need you to do. Get tired on Monday or on Wednesday. Don't get tired on Tuesday. Hey, but give us a report because you made it to your first Timberwolf game last night. Give the group a little report.
Took my wife, man. We had a good time, man. Baba was up there, we had a good time. Another friend of mine was over two rolls down over here, like in 236 to 237.
Yeah.
It was really nice, man. Just a serious atmosphere, watch it, enjoy ourselves,
Yeah.
Loved it, man. Took the bus down there. Took the bus back, the traffic, parking is hectic, so it was nice, man.
Right. Oh, that was all right then. Well, man, we're so glad that you were able to take your wife on a little date and see the Target Center. The Target Center is nice.
Was that the Lakers game?
Yeah. So listen. Oh, absolutely. Now, did you have any problem with your flash ticket system?
No.
Everything worked fine. Yeah, it is because now the tickets are obsolete. Now there's nobody giving out paper tickets. If you can't use the telephone, now Ananias didn't get in, but Ananias is a master. But something went right. Something went wrong with his little system. But I'm glad you guys had a good time, and tell your wife we send all of our love.
Oh, yeah, we'll be back. I'm bringing back with me when I come back, too.
We'll do that. Get some rest.
I will.
On 3, 1, 2, 3.
All right, love you guys.
Yeah, that's good. There was, guys calling in, they're trying to be accountable. Now, he's going to be absent, right? But what he's saying really to you all is, it's important enough, this group is important enough to me that I need to call and share with you why I'm not here.
Right.
That's accountability. That's when you're holding yourself accountable. I love that. See? And you have an expectation that you come, Trigger's gonna be here, I'm gonna be here. You have that expectation. But sometimes it ain't gonna happen. You're gonna just step up. And that accountability is developing this leadership trait, this leadership quality that we pride ourselves on. Everybody in here is a leader. If nobody was here, if I wasn't here, you can do it. You can do it. You can do it. You get it? There's many of you in here can do it. Do this thing and keep it going, keep it alive. To that end, I'll say one more thing and then I'm gonna go to Elijah. You know, I have held off for years on saying anything to most anybody about what we do in POP. I teach, my wife, we teach, and we don't say that much about what we do. And we do that by design. There's a lot of people out here who can tell a good story. But I'm a professional spokesman. I know how to tell a story. But I refuse to tell one that is not 100% true. And so what I did is put works, say works.
Works.
I just want you to think about that word. I put works in front of word so that now when we tell a story, I don't have to be fearful, ashamed, mindful, or of anything or anybody who has a reflection, because the work is so powerful that there ain't jack that you can say about it. And I don't care who you are.
Right.
Now if you can't put it out there like that, then you need to get back. You talking too quick.
Right.
But we waited a good long while till we had strong leaders in here. And I mean, everybody in here is a small group.
Right.
But we have strong leaders amongst us now, who are leaders in their own thing. I haven't run us to the state legislature. I haven't done any of these kind of little song, dog and pony show, whatever. Which was Jigga called, took Vincent Britton. What's the name of that group? They took Vincent Britton.
Second Chance Program.
No, networking.
Network for Better Futures. They took Vincent, who was hot with all the pop stuff.
Yep.
They took him, put him in front of the state legislator, and they walked away with $6 million.
Sure did.
Vincent's in prison. Mm-hmm. Now, the question is, who got the 6?
Right.
The guy who and he was smooth too, man. The guy who did that, he's in California now.
Yep.
Right, and they left a shell of the program here and put a brother in place and puffed him up, like this here. But the other brother went on with the money. but then same with Twin City Rise. If you go by Twin City Rise, there's 2 or 3 pop guys hanging out on their
Really?
pictures on their window.
Over here?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. You don't know this, but I'm just telling you, Twin City Rise. Me and my wife went to the church that one of their trainers go to, and we trained them at the church. The brother took the training material and added it to the Twin Cities Rise training material. Here, Twin City Rise has started to teach our stuff from their training. He wasn't mad. We in this funding meeting. Watch this. The director from Twin City Rise, there was a female at that time, or she was second in command. She told me in front of the Department of Corrections, she said, well, there are laws against plagiarism, and if you aren't careful with using our material, we might sue you. She was talking about the power of people stuff. So wait a minute. So while she's talking, they all, so she's talking about pop and POP and adders and subtractors and all of this. We done documented this with the law of Congress.
Right.
Wait a minute, I just sat there. She just babbled on and just threatened me and all that. What you doing? In my younger days, I would have popped that girl. But I was younger. I'm not that. That's my younger. I'm not that.
Right.
But you know what I mean. So, she just accusing. I just sat there. And so then, this is what it was. They were vying for the contract to go into the prison. So one of the former wardens from Faribault, after the meeting was over, he said, man, I have never seen anybody handle a situation like he just handled that. He said, you don't have to worry about it. You guys have the contract. And Twin City Rise ain't been in the penitentiary no more since then. I ain't saying they can't come, it ain't my penitentiary. But they lied themselves out of that particular contract. I'm just trying to show you how cutthroat this stuff is. Right? She's gonna send me to jail for my wife's book. She wrote it in the basement. Come on, man. You know, and wait a minute now, but this was her attitude at leadership. So you have to understand that she had no ability to get close enough to the population to make significant change. If you in this work, you ain't prepared to get real close like this here, you can't get it done. That's a best practice. You got quiet in this church. You know I'm dropping it on you. Watch this. But last Sunday, while y'all were on the panel, I was sitting there. First, when I had whatever I said in the beginning, I realized while y'all was sitting there, I got well done. And I'm not really kind of like an emotional, whatever, one of them kind of, But it was overwhelming to me for a second. Because my mind, I was like, here we met all in prison. And I was playing the tape. I can't stop my mind from doing it. I was playing the tape of our journey and what we went through and walking to the lifer board hearing. All of that stuff was playing in my mind. And then here we are in this beautiful church. Let me just tell you about this. I'm still struggling with how did I get to this church, and I've been there 4 years. How I got to that church in the first place. But of all places where I could be, there I am. And of all the people who would ask for me, they asked me. Man, we hear about what you're doing. We want to know more. Let me tell you something. The setting was so beautiful, and you all were so eloquent and so professional. Such leadership came out of everyone. And even the pop guys in the audience were just so. And while you were talking, I heard in my voice, it's time to roll out now. That work is done. Next phase. But I need to get that release. Because, people talking loud and saying nothing get on my last nerve. Pump guy on 3. 1, 2, 3. Pump guys! Yeah. Well, I love that, man. I live that, man. That's me. The church people say, did you hear those pump guys? They were great. I love that. And they've been calling and texting, and this is what the church said. The church said, well, we want to help you. I never asked them. I give my tithes. I'm a tither. Some of y'all don't know what that means. Look. They say, we want to help you. This is some European folks from New Hope. They said they want to help me. I said, yeah, okay. What do you mean? They said, well, we're gonna make you an official partner, and we're gonna give you some money, to help you. Do you know we've been sitting on this corner for years? Wait a minute. Emerge. He's another big macaroni. You know what I mean? Come on. Everybody at the top is one way, and everybody at the bottom is another way. And who they working with? Look, you don't want to shake his head. You get it? But wait, what I'm trying to tell you, ain't not one of them ever came down here and said, McCrum right there from across in the Muslim temple. He came across here, McCrum, the imam. He came across here about 4 years ago, 5 years ago, and buzzed the buzzer. Said, hey, Brother Shane, I need your help. My son's in the penitentiary. Now, he was right up there in Fairborn. Come on in, sister. Come on, weigh in. Come weigh in. We got room to pull that chair right now. Come on, lift that chair for her. No, we just don't know. You good. Just relax. We got plenty of room in here. Move around out the way. Got all kind of room. Phil, slide down a little bit. Curtis, slide down a little bit. So I'll just finish. I'm going on too long. I'm sorry. Anyway, so this is what they said to me. They said, no, we want to send you a check. And I said, okay, fine. I said, I didn't ask for nothing about how much or nothing like that. And they said, they told my work, they said, we want to send you a check every month. Right. I'm not used to that kind of stuff. We don't ask nobody for nothing. We ain't begging nobody. But it wasn't a bag. They said, look, we see a need. We see what you're doing. We want to help. And we want to put some money on it. Say the money.
The money.
I'm going to wait for you to just think about that for a minute. Well, this is what I told you. When you're doing what you're supposed to do, money will follow you. You don't have to chase no money. If you find yourself chasing money, I'm telling you now, you'll never catch it and you will be in trouble again. If you put good work, say good work. Good work. Yeah, I'm going to tell you something. If they invest in us, this is good ground. Pressed down, shaken together, will men give unto your bosom. That's the word. And this is good ground right here. Yeah. Somebody else just gave us a re-ups and gave us a couple of dollars to support the education of offenders. You know, we got our lifers and others who are taking classes inside. It costs $10 for a class. And they get 3 credit classes. These are college professors. Some guys can't go. But pop guys are going. And this is why pop guys are walking out of there, coming out with a degree. And we've been funding them for years. Somebody sitting in this room got some of the money. And we're going to keep on doing it. Okay? I went on too long, I didn't mean to. But I'm going to tell you something on Sunday night that will help me know, and you're going to need to hear this, because we're going to roll out as pop guys now. It's time. We are in leadership. We are taxpayers. We are getting it done. We are raising our children. We are being reunited. We are lifting each other up. We are business owners. Say I am.
I am.
Somebody. We're going to allow that to be known in a deeper way now. On November the 8th, Brian Stevens is going to be here. I wish everybody could go, because the tickets are expensive. He's out at Christ Presbyterian Church. Hey, Tony.
I just want to stick my head in.
All right.
Exhausted. Just going to extend my love.
Give him some love.
No,
Yes, sir. So, you hired now?
Well, I'm waiting the dude is waiting till the last minute.
Okay.
They hired this new guy.
Okay.
Had me to train him.
Okay, that's good. I'm just checking on you. I'm just checking on you.
First of all.
All right. So, the other, I lost my place. I went on too long anyway. I'm sorry. Yeah, Brian Stevenson. So he's coming on the 8th, and then we're going to end up trying to go to that. So the men who were on the panel are going. But listen to this. I also had the men who read the book inside, lifers. And the lifer group has the book Just Mercy as a part of their yeah. And so they all wrote their reflections of the book. Jermaine Ferguson, Brian Clifton, Trevor Brown, two more. I can't think. And so what we did is we took took the pictures, the mug shot from DOC, but cropped it in such a way so it doesn't look like, a mug shot. And then we have their narrative all typed out. It's really beautiful. So what we're trying to do is get them guys to video conference into the Brian Stevenson thing. And we're also trying to do is get those guys who are on the panel to meet him. I'm asking the pastor of our church who are co-sponsoring Brian Stevenson to get an audience of you all with Brian Stevenson. Now this is my hope. I got a feeling, right? And we're going to take our television show and then recreate the function that we did last Sunday. So we'll do the Brian Stevenson video. If you weren't there, we played a video first that talked about who he is, how he got into Wayne. Did you holler for Wayne right there?
Wayne.
How he got into the becoming a lawyer in the first place, how he got into defending death row offenders, accused, many of them innocent. And so we want to try to pull this whole thing together. My hope is, do you have the video here? Okay.
You gotta hit the power button on that.
I just want y'all to see it.
Move that stuff over there.
We're gonna show for just a little bit. Young man, what's your name? And 180 sent you?
Yeah. No, I can't. Yeah, I'm from 180.
Yeah. Can you find him a chair and just bring it in? We turn the light out?
Find a chair.
Yeah.
It's loading up right now.
Yeah, go ahead.
Real quick. You know, I wanted to come today. I told my wife I wanted to come today just to show my appreciation for those of you guys that don't know me. I'm Willie Robinson. I'm a probation officer with Hennepin County. And as Shane stated, we've been knowing each other for a long time. And I appreciate you sharing that with me, Shane, about our ancestry.
That's right.
And I think that's very, very important because we are all connected in some kind of way.
That's right.
But I do appreciate you inviting me to those engagements. They were very, very powerful. It was my wife was so proud of me just having to be there.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
But I want to tell you guys, man, I am so proud of the way you guys articulated your story and what you talked about. And you continue to do that. You are living proof that people can change. And
That's
people
right.
deserve a second chance.
That's right.
You need that. If you don't believe in yourself, nobody will believe in you. It starts with self.
Yes.
And if you don't think you know good, ain't nobody gonna think it. So you have to believe in yourself. So I'm just so proud of the message that you and the way that you presented yourself. You guys were just dynamite.
Wow.
Just dynamite.
Wow.
You know. And I just want to say that because you deserve that.
Wow.
You know.
Yeah.
Really thank you. And I really appreciate you, just rolling with us like that. You took some it was a couple of nice pictures. We didn't get you in that picture. I regretted it after. I didn't realize. But it was some nice photos. And so can you push this or let's go. Give him a little. I just wanted you to see that. If you weren't there last night, it was really, Sunday night was amazing. And everybody was so great. You guys were so great. I want the pop guys who were there to say something. If you would, if you can incorporate your thinking in the acts of faith, and then also say something to the men who were in this particular event. Anybody who was there. Elijah's going first.
Yeah, I came in, just slightly late. I was running from this organization called BCN, it's Black Civic Network. It was holding one of its first
family dinners. It did one in Minneapolis, one in St. Paul, and then Nika and I were part of the community ambassador for it. So from the family dinner, I was able to make it to the last half of it, and it was powerful. It was dynamic. I even had a couple of epiphany moments, like when I heard, like for instance, I didn't know that Richard McLemore, what's the other brother's name? I forget his name.
Oliver Cummings.
And yeah, Tierre, Oliver's what I'm talking about. All of us, and me too, were all initially charged with crime committed for the benefit of a gang.
Yeah.
So just throwing it in there, even if like factually, like there's like nothing there. And so I'm seeing this.
Oh,
This is
y'all were
Hennepin. This is
juveniles.
Yep, all of us was juveniles. This is Hennepin. This is Ramsey. This is Pope. Around the same exact time, and just throwing it in there, you know. And it was up to the courts typically to just knock that irrelevant but very significant charge out.
Yeah.
But the facts of the case didn't align at all to what they was just. And so I'm thinking about myself, and I'm like, wow, like this was really systemic.
Yeah. Wow.
Crime committed for the benefit of the gang.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
it was me and two other people.
Yeah.
And so that hit me. That I had to like really sit back and just meditate on. And I was very fortunate, you know, to even have gotten from up under that, because if you get convicted of, it was a first degree count, that's life in prison. A few years later, they switched the first degree to life without the possibility of parole. And so I just missed that by a few years. And so as they were talking, you know, I was just constantly going into deep and internal like reflections, and just like in the Circle 7 they say contemplate thine frame. And so I was like really thinking about like where I was in life at this moment, sitting in this room. And I mean, thinking about all of the stuff that I had done that day, you know, that I was blessed enough to do that day. And then I was reminiscing on like a lot of the solid brothers. Willie was just talking about 3 solid brothers that really helped to impact and influence his life, you know. And just sitting in that room in space with all of us, I was just very reflective, and just because I'm able to make some dope moves right now, and a lot of really great men, really good men. You know, they're on the other side of that wall right now, you know, fighting to get to where we are, you know, to be able to experience life the way that we are able to experience life. And I was able to see a very professional, dope demonstration of us operating in our fullness, and just like really, it really gave me an opportunity to just reflect and just think about like where I'm at and where I want to go and why.
That's good. It was good that you guys made it in. A couple more people who were there just had some reflections. Just go ahead.
I was really proud of Willie, because for him to leave nobody out. Wow. Wow. These brothers gone.
Yeah.
He could have kept quiet, but he put them in there.
Yeah.
And he said their names very intentional.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
That was deep.
It was deep.
And then by me sitting by Pops, you know, you can see people spirit.
Yeah.
And the spirit was there.
You feel it?
I felt it. I'm looking at him like, these my peoples right here. And they doing their thing. And we didn't leave and I'm so proud of you, because you had that piece of paper and you didn't leave none of the pop guys out. I know these guys personally. The one of the papers he had, I know him personally. Wow. And then you put that blend on it.
Wow.
You know, because a lot of people's like, well, he just got, you know, the black guys. And I know they're thinking that, but you put that paper right there. I was proud of you, Pops.
Wow. Yeah. Thank you, son. I was glad you was home and there. Somebody else.
Back to me.
Go ahead. Joe.
Hey, can I answer one of the questions that you asked there? Because I didn't get a chance to answer it. Can I? Alright, one of your questions was, how would I change the system? I changed the system, being that, let me just read it out here. Change the system as guilty or not, the crime should have to be proven, and if the plea is entered, you should have to be released. Somebody enter a plea of either guilty or not guilty. It should be reviewed prior to being sentenced. Right? The affiliation things of how people get judged based on average or common criteria. And I'll just shorten this, but I was in fresh, and I had never been in jail system type of situation before, and if I would have known how the system worked, I may have pled differently.
Right. That's good. And so Joe was all wired up like a federale, and then he had a big keyboard. And this dude was transcribing the whole thing as it was taking place. I was like, my man, give my hand for his little skills there. And then he read back from what he transcribed. That was beautiful. Somebody else who was there would take two more. We got a couple more things to move on to.
For me, my name is Anthony. For me, it was just overall thing of what we all wish we could be, even in the times that we was in despair as kids and going through a lot of things. So I just seen how we broke through a lot of the stuff, broke the chains, broke the situations that people say we couldn't overcome because of that we couldn't do to be a reality at that particular time. And the ones that called us this and that wasn't even there to see or even required if it was what they say we were. So I figured that to be that whatever they had in their hearts at that particular time,
didn't get over.
Didn't overcome, didn't get over. What was from childhood to what we see today. So it was profoundly peaceful. Overcoming, being where we at, and the things that we say we was going to be at. So it was just
he was doing it.
Yeah, so it was just, it was an action piece.
Yeah.
So that was just a part that I think a lot of people miss for us. Not just the action word part. We ain't never been defeated, even in the darkest times. So it was just about, man, like in the waves of the clouds and just moving past. So it was just took a piece of this. So whatever people say, they don't want to see the truth. They want to come to the reality of what this is. How people made mistakes, did different things, and now they became, they are this and they no longer that. So you can't say all this. So it was just, so they try to keep people to stigma of you like this, So
that's and I seen you back there sitting with your friend, and y'all just looked peaceful. It just was a nice setting, man. I was disappointed we didn't get her Tanya in the shot, in the photo shot. It made me know that we need to do a photo shoot with us and then our significant others. We just get a professional photographer to get all of us, and then get all of our first us and then our significant others, so that we have that documentation of what you're talking about. The way we were and the way we are now, before and after. That's what you're talking about. And It was very powerful, man. Give Baba some love. Go ahead, go ahead.
I just want to really thank Will, man. I mean, I know you for over a decade, you know. And some of the stuff you shared and, you know, you exposed some folks to is it's rare. I know you don't talk about that stuff like ever. You know, we've been in like all type of situations and you don't talk about none of that stuff anywhere else, man. So
Right.
I appreciate that, man. I really do.
That's right.
Yeah.
It was amazing. Go ahead.
I don't know if anybody saw this, but at the end when we started to kind of mingle with everyone, a little old lady approached me and hugged me.
Wow.
And at that moment, I realized the significance of that moment.
Yeah.
I sat in Faribault with this man. Willie and KG. I don't know if you guys call him KG. We call him KG. He was on the panel. Yes, yeah, right. Like, so, but I sat in Faribault with these guys for a number of years, and just being in that moment there really hit that everything that we talked about, everything that we talked about, inside of it in that moment right there.
Yeah.
And I had my suit on.
Yeah.
At first I felt like I was overdressed, but then I said, you want to know something? I don't even care. I'm going to wear this suit.
Yes, sir.
And I wore that suit,
Yeah.
and I had my jump 23s on. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I was comfortable, and I loved that moment. And just the hug from that lady, stranger, she got close.
She got close. That's good.
Wow.
That's good. That's good. You caught it.
Yeah.
That's good.
And that closeness made me realize,
Right.
this is what it is.
Right.
I got it.
A rocket ride. Woo! That was a hug that she gave you. Malik, you was there with sharing about what it was, and did you have some thoughts about what it was on Sunday night?
Suited and booted.
Yeah, Malik was sharp too.
Yeah.
They talking about Malik was sharp up in there.
My pop hooked me up with that.
Yeah. I'm looking out
My name
for
is
it.
Malik. I'm a pop guy.
Pop guy.
You know what really touched me was the guy's commentary, and then Pop when he talked about this is the greatest work that I've done. You know, and transforming lives, being in people's lives to help put them in the right direction. That's powerful. That's important. All of our stories have a place where we can do that to help somebody else get to where we're at. And I'm following Pop. I'm chasing Pop. I'm with that good life.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You know, and I know we all are.
Yeah.
Bring it in.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
So it was a wonderful experience. I'm glad I got an opportunity to be there.
Yeah. Wayne, what you got? Give Malik some blood.
Yeah.
What you get from it?
Come on, Wayne.
Sunday,
Yeah.
it's pretty powerful. It was just seeing all the guys up there representing themselves, representing the POP, seeing the reaction of the crowd. A lot of them got into it. They were. It's I don't know. It's like an impact that I think is needed and should hopefully spread around Twin Cities. I mean, it'd be nice to duplicate this in many other places.
Right.
Even your idea of doing this on the show.
So that's not the idea we're going to do it. So what I need for you to do, son, is get a date, and then we're going to recreate the very show that we did in the church on the television show, but then we can incorporate more people. You get it? So we can do a part 1 and a part 2, so everybody's got a chance. And let me just say this one more thing. This is love. If I give you a book, read. I just want you to think back in your life when a man gave you a book. Now, you know, there was a man that might have gave you a rock. And you smoked it.
This guy.
Well, name the guy, wait a minute. A man came in your life and gave you a book and said, read this. It ought to say something to you. The guys who were on the panel read the book. And when Will was, before Will came home, Will was an avid reader, and I said, Will, read everything you can right now, because you don't understand how hard it is to read outside. You know how Will get. He looked at me, he said, oh, Pop, you don't understand. You don't understand, Pop. I read. Look what he said, Curtis. I read. Look, I could have said back to him, no, you don't understand. But I let it go. Right? You got to know what the bottom line is. Say the bottom line. The bottom line. I let him go. But then, look, this is the first real read, and I gave him a couple, 2, 3 books. I said, Will, you got to read this book. This book here is going to touch you. So about 5 days before the event, Will called me on the phone. He said, Pop, and I could tell he was sprung. He said, Pop, man, this book, Pop, Pop. Man, Pop, this book is touching me, Pop. I said, see, I told you, right? And it's very hard to read when you're in the world. You have to, it's like a habit. Like working out. Say working out. Working out. You know, you used to work out all the time when you was locked up. Say, look at Cortez. Look, yeah, give Cortez a hand. Anyway, it's hard to, you know, easy to work out, you work out, but when you get outside, it's harder. You have to make time. Say make time. Make time. Time will allow you to bend it, but you have to press in on it. Otherwise, listen to this carefully, time will make demand after demand after demand after demand, and you will believe you're accomplishing a lot of stuff.
That's right.
But actually, you are going nowhere. Watch this. Until you become in control of how you are using your time, then is when you will begin to work smartly and effectively. I'm just trying to help somebody here. The book is so powerful. I'm not buying any more copies. I'm probably about 30, 25. But you ought to buy that book. If you don't have it, it's worth the $15 or $18 it is now, down from 30 when I was buying it. Just Mercy is so powerful. You ought to read that book. It's an amazing read. So, to y'all's points, we have now invited, as of yesterday, all of the Minnesota State Department of Commissioners, including Tom Roy, to come over here to our shop and allow us, many of them, not all, are going to be moving on. Tom Roy, who is going to leave out with 2 black eyes and a crooked leg because of the homicide that took place in Stillwater, is actually released more lifers than anybody in the last 15 to 17 years. And many of them are sitting in this room. So we ain't got to agree about everything, and we don't. But we're releasing these guys and giving them a second chance at freedom. Say second chance. Second chance. We have invited them to come here and allow us to celebrate that accomplishment. Each one of and I talked to Commissioner Bruce Reiser about this before I sent the invitation. So we were already working the strategy. The strategy is to get them to come on in, but it's really Tom Roy. We want to make a award for him. Second Chance Freedom Award. And give this guy an opportunity to recognize that I appreciate Curtis Harris sitting right there. You know what? I helped Curtis move into his new first apartment.
That's right.
Yeah, and I need two brothers to help me go pick the furniture.
No, we ain't gonna help you. No, of course we're gonna help you. But watch this. You don't understand what I meant by that. I followed him from Lionel, from Faribault to Lionel to minimum to out. And I moved him into his apartment, and I was proud to do it. Curtis got his own place. Give that boy some love. I don't know this, but I heard Cortez, he had a little chicken wing up there too. Oh. You better watch it, boy. That's all right, you know, that's your place, man, and you know, that's a beautiful thing. We got a guest we haven't introduced. Also, Jamal is here. He hasn't been here in about 20 years. And even though he hasn't been talking to me, look at this, watch this. His mama calls me all the time. Oh. His mama say, Brother Shane, you need to get this boy. I said, man, what is he doing? She said, you know what he's doing? He's smoking that weed again. Jamal, have you been smoking that weed again? Somebody say, weedy, weedy. You know you been, look, you know your mama done called me a joke. You know it's something, boy. What am I gonna say? I said, well, ma'am, you know, boy, I'm again that, but you know, I don't know if you can drive him over here, I'll take him from there. So you know, Jamal, we're gonna get him in, and Franco right here, Mansays, just home last week. That's right. Give him a hand. Franco, that is Franco's welcome home cake. So if you don't mind passing it over here, and Franco can cut the cake, and Miss the Queen can help you, and then we can get the ice cream from somebody. Get the boys some cake and ice cream. There's some ice cream. Malik, would you get the ice cream from the just so we can be doing more than one thing at one time? Right. You know, don't break ranks. But we just gonna mess around and let that go. Franco, you cut some little cake. Sis, you mind introducing yourself?
Oh, hi. Yeah. I should stand small.
What's up?
That's all right. My name is Leah. I'm so forward just getting to be here. I want to thank you for letting me be a guest. This is a powerful, sacred space. I'm really humbled, so thank you. Richard invited me, thank you for letting me come. I have a theater company, it's called Wonderlust Productions, and we make plays, just like any other theater company you know, like the Guthrie or the Number or the Jungle or any of those, except we do it a little bit different. Instead of starting with a play and then hoping some people come, we start with the people. So we pick a group of people that we think have a really important story that's part of who we are here in Minnesota, but whose story isn't known or is misunderstood or ignored or lied about. And we spent 2 years working in collaboration with that community of people, making a play. And when I say in collaboration, what I mean is we start by inviting people to come to story circles and telling us their stories, whatever they want to share, not sharing what they don't want to share, just whatever they feel like. And without us telling them what the play's about, they tell us, right? And we do lots of those. We usually end up talking to over 200 people to gather their stories. We mix those stories together, so it's not documentary. No one person's story is in it, beginning and end with their name on it. Like one character on stage is probably 6 different people mixed together. So it protects their privacy. It also makes a bigger story. After we've gathered like 200 people's stories, we start writing scenes. We invite the community again to participate with us in workshops where we improvise scenes, we create songs together, we create dance, we shape a big play, and the community gets a chance to say if we're getting it right or if we're getting it wrong. And once we've done that, we try to write a first draft. We invite the community to be in a reading of the first draft and to listen and tell us, are we telling the truth Have we left anything out? They usually have a lot to say at that point, a lot to say, and we have to have a very thick skin because they're like, you got it wrong. So we rewrite the whole play again based on everybody's feedback, and then we have auditions, and we invite anybody in the community to audition to be in the play. It doesn't matter if you've ever had any experience performing in your life, we will meet you where you're at, we will find a part that fits your skills, we will write parts to your strengths, and then we produce the show for an audience to see. This takes 2 years. Our casts are usually big because so many people get involved over time. You can enter the process at any point. You can come to the story circle and never show up again, or you can come to everything. You just show up at auditions and be in the play. Ultimately, our plays are like 30, 40, 50 people, and over 2/3 of the cast is people from the community we're collaborating with, and the rest are professional actors, professional designers, and we stage it. Not usually in a theater. Our last big play was about people who work at the state capitol. We performed it all over the Capitol building. They gave me a key to the Capitol building. I'll never, ever forget that they did that. The play before that was about people affected by adoption and foster care. We did that in Mixed Blood Theater. The one before that was about military veterans. We did it at Fort Snelling. We don't know where this play will be yet. We are just starting. It is a play about the incarceration system. So we are inviting anybody who has been incarcerated, anybody whose loved one has been incarcerated, anybody who works in the system or outside of the system, whether in a support role or an advocacy role or just a role of love, to be part of this play. So, like I said, we just started. Over the next 2 months, we're going to have about 10 story circles. I have a flyer. I can leave it here for anybody who wants it. I can leave my business card if you want to ask me questions. I can also share with you, with Richard, a link where you can sign up. Like I said, there'll be about 10 story circles in November, December, but we'll be doing story circles all the way in the spring. And so in addition to the ones that are hosted in libraries and in our office in St. Paul, if anybody wants to host their own, we will come to you. If you're like, I got 6 guys who'd like to talk, we'll come to you if that's easier. So that's why I'll leave my cards if anybody wants to.
Sure.
So that's my spiel.
Wow, that's amazing.
Thank you. Not to mention, people don't usually play themselves. They usually play somebody else.
Yeah,
Who can
you
play
probably
for it.
won't play yourself.
Curtis wants to play himself, right?
Yeah. He wants to play the warden.
No, that's right. Well, I just want you to meet Esau right over here. Esau Strawberry Newman. Esau has he has an acting aspiration, as does Terrence Peaches.
Yeah.
Acting aspirations for years, and has written some little screenplays on his own. So I just want you to know that. As soon as you said 2 sentences, Esau's eyes started bugging out. You know, it sounds interesting in some ways, but I don't know. You know, I mean, the timing of it may work for what we're trying to do, but I don't know. But anyway, I'm just glad that you're here. And Richard, thank you so much for bringing her out. You know what I mean? It demonstrates your leadership ability. Anybody want to ask her a question or two before we move on to Jamal quick and anything? So,
I'll leave my card by the cookie tin.
oh, please do.
Where's your location at in St. Paul? You said St. Paul, correct?
It's on University in Vandalia.
Is that Film North?
Say again?
Film North?
We're doing a couple up north.
No, the Film North headquarters on, was it 550 Vandalia?
That's where we are.
Yeah, that's where I go on Saturdays to the screenwriting group.
Oh, Phil North. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, I couldn't hear you. Yeah, we even have a story circle on Saturday, so maybe you could do both.
Maybe.
Already you got an address and everything. Yeah, right. You all, I just want to give Jamal a quick second here to holler about what the heck has he been doing besides smoking that weed. We're going to mess around it. Valerie? Go ahead, son. It's on you.
My name is Jamal Williams. I am one of the pop guys. For some of y'all that don't know me, I knew Pop way back before the Pop group because my mom and dad they still go to church. Actually, my father passed away, but Pops though, he went to my mom and dad's church. You know, growing up, so that's how I knew Pops. But that time I didn't know, that he was working, with the people in prison, you know. I didn't know that though until I actually got in prison and I seen Pops in Faribault, you know. But yeah, no, yeah, man, I used to smoke a lot of weed, you know.
Give him a hand for telling the truth.
It started when I was 13 years old, you know, smoking off and on. But I have not smoked weed lately in a while, you know, because I'm, you know, trying to get me a new job. The job that I got now, I've been working at Target Field since 2010 with the Minnesota Twins.
Give him a little hand for that. That's almost 9 years, man.
Almost, yep, 9 years. You know, it's seasonal, of course, you know, we make the playoffs. So when we don't make the playoffs, we don't work.
Right.
But then, you know, they call you back during the baseball season. You want to come back and work. Sure enough, I always do come back. You know, but, I say, man.
you need something else though right now, right?